Welcome back to Humankind game. The end of the medieval era is where we left off, and we're about to smash through, believe it or not, the rest of the game in this episode. So sit back and relax. It is a whomper, playing on maximum Humankind difficulty on blitz speed, the hardest of all default challenges in Humankind. Let's see how I get on. Let's do it. And why not start getting some districts down too? Before we move through eras, we'd like to do that, of course. And I see no reason why I can't attach at least this territory up to it, literally on its first turn. So let's do that. 13 pop, brilliant. More districts, absolutely brilliant. So good. Let's cue that. It's only 77 gold. Because the city is so basic and new and everything is so cheap and wonderful. My goodness. Look at these makers' quarters as well. Woof. The industry on these bad boys is outstanding. This city's going to be an absolute industry powerhouse. Especially as I spend more gold to upgrade it. Look at it go! I've only just built it and it's insane already. Oh my goodness. I think we could use a military unit or two here first actually. So let me just queue up a couple of elephants. We'll use them to claim this neighboring territory and try and connect this up. And then, wouldn't hurt to have a little bit of a standing army too. Mounted warfare is the last technology for me to unlock as I have 1,000 science a turn. And this is kind of Researchville a little bit around here, so I can probably place a couple more research quarters just to help build up these adjacency bonuses. So I'll smash out a few more here too. Stability, not an issue, thankfully. For a change. Hello, military star potential? Maybe. I might just continue with plan A, disembark there. Let's get a couple of elefantes here too. And we'll just play catch up a little bit here in the capital. Just on some infrastructure that we've kind of like missed out on or avoided. Money from traders. Let's just get it, the whole lot. This one too, we'll just spend, it literally will only take a couple of turns, and it will be worth doing just because it will hopefully increase our yield something exponentially, right? You'll see, like, look at that. It was literally like a turn for me to complete so much vital infrastructure. So yeah, pretty happy to smash all of that out in our main centers in particular. Although we can get one more holy site online. Where do I want it? +1 science per trade route isn't bad, and it'll push us right toward the edge of progress, so let's do that. I'm going to try and find some other ways that I can start to min-max my civics a bit. That'll, in general, help us unlock more. +1 combat strength will put us into liberty, so let's grab that as well. Doesn't hurt to have the +1 strength, particularly here as it looks like these guys are going to try and hit my brand new elephant behind my walls. Bring it on! Our peasants will of course come out swinging as well, so the peasants can stay there. Got the elephant, we might put the elephant up there. These guys are fighting across my wall, so they're going to take significant hits as they slam their faces into my peasants, and my gunner elephant, go you, can destroy everybody. And literally I'm just going to end round and heal with the rest of these guys. We'll just hold them off, essentially. Hold them off while the one elephant decides who it would like to destroy. You can shoot that one. And again, just end round, stall them out as much as we can. They seem to be picking on this one unit in particular, so let's move that one out of the way and bring a new healthy boy down here. And again, the elephant can basically pick and choose who it likes, but we'll just make sure it gets the kill on that one. Nice military stars, thank you kindly. These are not going to go our way though, so we might just retreat out of that bad boy. And unfortunately it's hurled us up against another opponent who we will lose to. How dare you, Blue? How dare you? Okay, so this newly established outpost here, firstly can grab a nice luxury, and secondly, could almost immediately be merged into our new city. Oh, however, there is actually one more territory here. I like it. Let's merge it in straight away, because that'll give us another unique Khmer district. Khmer! Chuck it up there, buy it outright, buy that maker's one outright. Let's get another holy site down. Absolutely brilliant. That's only going to take a turn. And now we can focus in on what we would like this city to be very, very good at. It doesn't have any strikingly unique factors. I think we might continue to build maybe some maker's quarters. Yeah, I mean, plus 38, plus 37. Pretty good. Let's do that. Oh, yes. Right, we'll just dust you off. Great. There's that city protected. A militarist star, which is wonderful. I think it might be about time that we move through into the next era. Let's just quickly check, though. Golden. We could probably get that agrarian one. But you know what? I might forego it because I do feel ready to move through. Ed or Japanese could be an interesting pick for us, but we don't super need the influence. The Muggle's super tempting just to really double down on industry. But I think we'll go with the Joe, plus 3 science on tiles producing science, and some research quarter adjacencies. Let's do it. We're going to go Joe. Oh my goodness, I forgot to claim this territory. Yikes. Whew. Alright, hoover that one up now. And we're looking pretty decent. That island hasn't been claimed, nor has this one, but take a look at this. Is this not the worst territory you've ever seen? No resources of any kind, 3 land tiles, and that's it. I'm going to claim it anyway for completionist's sake, but I mean, man, come on. You're kidding me. Righto, welcome to the Joseon era. This is potentially where we could snowball. We're a scientific culture so that we can get a whole load of fame out of our science stars. Speaking of, let's have a look at the tech tree and consider what's most important. 3-masted ship, I'll take that for free all day, baby. Speaking of nice things to have, after that we'll get guns, and boats, and supplies, and cannons. That'll probably do. And here's an opportunity for us to test out our wonderful elephants a little bit more. So let's do that. The terrain is pretty ugly, i.e. we're fighting on a lot of rivers and such. The rest of them, like this unit, will just perish almost immediately, so that's fine. I'm going to shoot and fire and see if I can run away back behind these rivers. That tile's not in. I guess I'll go for some high ground. Oh, it's absolutely fine. Look at our elephants just rain down firepower on these units. Gee, this standing army could use a bit of an upgrade. Woof. Now we can get our unique Seowon districts down. They're largely focused on science, and adjacency bonuses with research quarters is the big thing. So as soon as I build one, what I want to do is just build at least 2 research quarters with it, and I'm willing to actually do it like slightly slower, right? Like place 1 down, then place the research quarters down. Just because it's so important to me that even in areas where I haven't focused on science, that I do at least provide just 1 or 2 around it, because it makes all the difference. International trading. I don't often see this, Civic. Authorizes trade of goods with allies only and prevents the spread of other empires' sphere of influence from non-allied territories. Isolationism or globalism authorizes trade of goods even when at war. So we can really go one way or the other here. I'm not mad at preventing spread, but I don't really want to just trade with my allies. So I'm not quite ready to enact that, I don't think. We may as well provide a little buff to our religion with these religious civics, though. I don't need the district discount anymore, but religious tolerance, right? Plus 3 influence on territories following our religion, or plus 5 faith on all territories, and we get that grievance. I think we probably want to move towards worldly for the food instead of the combat strength, so I'm going to go plus 3 influence. And we should actually have a look at our religion. How's it doing? Pretty good. We're seeing some conflicting views here. It's quite a close race, but it overlays with our territory nicely, right? We have our religion, and actually we're spreading right the way along. So we're doing very well. More military. Oh no, I just couldn't get the heal off, and then these units just ran in and attacked me before I could heal. Oh, how dare you! That is so infuriating. I can at least reinforce with an additional unit down here, and we might be okay. Let's go for the manual battle. What are we dealing with? Oh, yikes. Our elephants. I was just about to click heal, and then the AI challenged me to a fight. Ugh. Oh, not to worry. Do have some reinforcements. This knight can sweep in along this back line and destroy these guys. We can also focus fire on that unit and take that down fairly quick smart. Run away. Bring you up to the front, maybe, to take a hit for a turn. Yeah, sure. Alright. As planned, that unit took a hit, and then the knight can come in and finish the dirty work. Brilliant! We managed to protect our glorious elephants. Now please, don't you run in and fight me before I can heal, for goodness sake. Heal. Heal. Brilliant. We might as well merge these armies too, seeing as they're both sort of mucking around here doing not a lot. Send them back to the city centre and grab a cheeky science osmosis event while we're here. That's a little bit concerning. But let's continue to build our unique districts, and like I said before, try and build some research quarters around them whenever I can. Okay, so we've just got patronage, and this is huge because look at all of these luxuries. One great example is silk, where I have 6 out of 6 within my collection, and 3 of 6 are actually in my borders, which is really wicked. Take a look at this. On our outposts, we can build these luxury manufactories, providing we have, like I say, access to at least half of the total supply. We'll get 50 fame for each one, but crucially, we just get these powerful, powerful benefits. And buying them with influence is just nuts. So let me build that. We can also get the gold one here. Wonderful. And then as I pan around the rest of the world, it's likely that our cities will be able to get some too, right? For example, here's the one for pearls and also the one for whale poop. Now we're up to 4. I'm thinking the capital must... Oh my goodness. The capital has an additional 3 to get online. So queue those up. Queue that up. Queue that up. It's important that I get these built really before anything else. So I'm going to just throw them to the front of the queue. Buy them for literally 75 gold. But the benefits that we'll get off them, oh my goodness. Honestly, don't even get me started. It's just insane. I should really do the same back up here as well, actually. Before I forget, 75 gold per manufactory. Absolutely love it. Was there anywhere that I didn't check? Realistically, we've already built 7. We're probably not going to have access to any more than that. That's pretty extreme. Yeah, that's about all we can muster for the time being, and I am super stoked with that. So I've just finished hooning around building all of the districts that I possibly could in my city, and now I've got the opportunity to claim another wonder. I wonder if we double down on the faith thing and go the old Angkor Wat St. Basil's Cathedral combo. The other one that I'm thinking about is the Topkapi Palace because of that plus 100% production towards future shared projects. We'd build future wonders twice as fast. However, I reckon because we've got Angkor Wat, we could go with the St. Basil's thing. It's a shame we've lost Machu Picchu. That's the real dream. But let's go St. Basil's. Let's go St. Basil's. Let's get some extra fame. Let's get some extra faith. And let's allow the capital, which now has 38 pop, not terrible. Now allow the capital to get another wonder under its belt too. Wonder if we can actually give the capital another territory to build this in. Oh, it's quite expensive. Oh, actually we could... I don't want to build it on this island, though. That is awful. What I really want to do is make it to this island. I'd love to build it on this one. So actually, let's just... Ooh, please don't fight me. Let's just hold off. Check if we have non-aggression. Would you like non-aggression? Oh, Zulu. Don't Zulu this to me. Okay, so... this city is being fought by 3 random barbs. I still have a couple of gunner elephants here, so I'm really not worried. Between our peasants and our gunner elephants, we should be totally fine to get a few free military stars from this, in reality, is all it's going to deliver. We did let them inside of our walls, which was a bit foolish. We'll just take that one out and reinforce the front of the walls there. Just make sure that every frontline wall spot is taken. Brilliant. We're actually blocking their deploy here. Maybe we just dogpile in on this unit. I know it's a little unwise, but I mean, we're just doing so much damage. Simple victory. They're gonna fight me again. I can probably just insta that. Nice. Military stars, fantastic. We now actually have our full stars. But I've got so many districts still to build, I don't know if I'm quite ready to move through. Let's have a look-see at how we're doing. Well, we want to at least get some scientist stars out the way. So, looks like we'll be spending a few more turns here. So I'm going to absolutely smash that like button. I mean, smash that remind me later button. Winky face. Ath and I can claim this island. Why not? It's another district. More influence. Sure. I'm going to move them to the front of the queue and buy them outright, just in case we want to start moving through to a different era at some stage. Okay, a whole load of stars just smashed through. Not quite at our scientist ones yet, so that suggests to me that it might be time to use collective minds, because we're just not quite where we need to be. So let's maybe head to the capital, which isn't building a lot right now. Artistic expression is wonderful for our makers' quarters, and it will push us right toward the end of Liberty, so let's do that. It's going to give our makers +1 influence, which will hopefully pay itself off over time. Now that we've claimed this island, I'll work to put St. Basil's Cathedral on it, I think. So we'll just queue up a couple of these last districts where we haven't got them already. In fact, no, we won't, because that's a dreadful spot for one. And smash through that one turn. There's the cathedral. Boom, online. Look at us go with our technologies, with our stars and with our wonders. Look at that. St. Basil's Cathedral producing 200 faith per turn. Just try and stop my religious dominance now, surely. Oh my goodness, let's get through and grab this territory. There's literally no one there. Go, 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 go. Look, it's got a river and everything. I'll take a 14-7. That's totally fine. We've actually got room in our city cap as well. Where do I want a new city? I suppose it doesn't really matter too much. We just want cities. In fact, you know what? There's no time like the present. Let's do it. Wabamo. Another city down. More districts. More fun. Fan-freaking-tastic. I think also these attachments will be super cheap for this city. So let's just check this outpost. Nah, it's good to go. Right, hoover that up. Another unique district down with a research quarter next to it. Put that ahead of the infrastructure, I think, because it's super cheap. Lovely. I reckon we can probably even do that with a third one, right? Yeah, let's do it. Let's hoover up this one as well. An expansionist star. What are those? Wow. The impossible star. Good stuff. Okay, brilliant. So there's another new city online. We could even push it one further, to be fair. Let's discover oil, because that seems really good. Let's also get electricity, because who doesn't love a bit of electricity? And then I think we'll bounce back through and grab a couple of these sort of fairly important techs from earlier on. I think a wireless... we don't really need to buff our commons quarters, so let's just figure out how to fly instead. And checking in on the old star situation, we are really close to getting that one. Expansionist is going to be super hard. 1,000 gold for a merchant star. A few populations for an agrarian. We're sort of close-ish to those, but we might consider just moving through to the next era anyway, acknowledging that we are playing on blitz mode, and time is most certainly of the essence. You know what? You can have this territory. Because our stability is just something that we've thankfully almost never had to worry about this whole time. It's been absolutely outstanding. And I mean, look at these research quarters. They're so good. They're so good. Queue up like 1 million of them. Ooh, a wonder can be claimed. Would I like to add Notre Dame to my collection to really go stupid on faith? Probably not. I might go Topkapi Palace because of that plus 100% production towards future shared projects like testing nuclear weapons or flying to space. Let's hoover it up. You do also get an innate little bonus to industry. I mean, it's not massive, but it is what it is. I think we'll build it in our industrial heartland, which is right here. Smash it there. And it's only going to take 2 turns for this city to do it alone, which suggests to me we can probably easily... Yeah, look at that. 1 turn. 1 turn wonders, baby. Okay, we're fairly matched militarily, like we sort of have the same units, but actually I have significantly less, so I should probably play on the defensive now that I've hoovered up all of these border territories. So let's head back to Industrial Heartland and guard it with these units, just in case someone gets any ideas. Hoover up the rest of those techs. I think we can take housing off collective minds now. That feels less necessary, especially now that I just completed about 1 million different things in a turn. Oh my god, we are snowballing very quickly out of control. And now that I can hoover up oil, there's actually a lot to be built here in Haojing. Because it's quite a large territory. Got a lot of stuff to it. Okay, we've just rolled through into turn 50. That puts us 2/3 of the way through the game. Just finished trench warfare and line formation, which has completed the tech tree for this era. And having a look at my stars, yeah, I feel like we can probably move. We've picked up basically everything we're going to be able to get within a reasonable time period. So let's now move through into the new era. Who should we play as? We cannot take the Zulu or the Siamese, so we're still behind in getting our first picks, which is kind of frustrating. I don't really want the Persians. I don't need anything that the Austro-Hungarians deliver. The British we have a lot of territories attached, so they're sort of tempting, but I don't really need what they put out. The French would be great because it would allow me to really beeline towards the end. The Mexicans are kind of a juicy pick, but you know what? Let me show you something insane. Let's go the French. I'm going to also, just before we turn into the French, going to convert my elephants into heavy machine guns and my knights into slightly more dorky looking, but knights with guns nonetheless. And welcome to the Industrial Era, as we've chosen the French, another scientific culture. You might be wondering why, where, or how. The Siamese have entered the last era. Oh my goodness, they are well ahead of us in terms of picks. What we can do as the French, though, is something a little bit juicy I like to call the old beeline the fusion reactor. As the French, we can research into the contemporary era. We're going to beeline through nukes to take us to fusion power, which will give us that really juicy plus 50% industry on cities and outposts. And of course, along the way, we're going to pick up nuclear fission, which will allow us to discover uranium, and uranium enrichment for plus 25 science. I mean, it is what it is. But also fame, right? These things give us fame, particularly this last one, 300. Absolutely brilliant. So I'll beeline towards that, not focusing on too much throughout the way, but we will have to go back through and pick up some important things like uranium, aluminium, so on and so forth. Anyway, let me queue up my unique Frenchy districts. They are awesome. Let's buy some. How good. We should really also head to Super Scienceville, shouldn't we? Or Super Industryville. Oh my goodness, look at Super Industryville go! Oh man, it is just smashing through those scientific quarters like there's no tomorrow. We're building districts so incredibly fast here. I hear the narrator announcing that I've discovered Research Institute, which means that we are already into the contemporary era's technologies. I can claim a wonder from this era as well, and I reckon we probably want to just go for Big Ben for that pure science gain. So let's hoover up Big Ben. Let's continue to place down our unique districts. I'm not too worried even now about min-maxing them. It's more important to me that they're just built. Above all, I just want them built. So I'm going to plan their development. Also schedule in a little bit of important infrastructure behind them. Try and double down on science there. Capital of Haojing is coming along super nicely. Let's get its uniques down. They're producing nearly 100 science each, and we've got 5 of them to smash out. 6 if I want to build them down on old Crapville down here, but we might just leave Crapville for the time being. Let's instead queue up perhaps some hamlets, actually. Hamlets could be quite useful here, just for some extra jobs as the city grows. So I'll just grab 1 or 2. Although I note that also we have some strategics like uranium to get online. So let's do that as well. Woof, there's nuclear fission. Great to see it. Let's queue up Big Ben in the capital if we can. There we go. Queue that up. We won't have the capital build it, but we'll get some of the other cities to do it for it. Maybe the industrial heartland. That'll put it to 2 turns. Maybe... Can we get it to 1? Yes, we can. If everyone else does it, we can do it in 1. And kablamo! There's your Big Ben down. There's your fusion reactor. That's, I'd like to remind you, literally at the end of the tech tree. Here with the beautiful France in this era. And look at our ridiculous science. We're going to need aluminium, right? So let's grab that instantly. We're also going to need rocket science, so we'll queue that up. After rocket science and aluminium, there are very few other technologies that we need to really cement our late game victory. The other one that I do like to buff, and those of you who watch me live will know that I also quite like to grab exosuit. It's again a relatively easy one to work towards because there are few techs along its line, and it provides you with +8 combat strength on your human units anyway, and 300 fame. So I'll lurch up to grab that, and then come back for things like communication satellite, which is really important if we want to get better visibility of the map. Civil engineering as well for that colony grid if we want to build any more cities, although I'm not sure if we particularly need to. Here's the vital nuclear weapons. Civic, obviously we're going to want to go for nuclear proliferation. That will allow us at least to test nuclear weapons. Let's make our future civics cheaper. Should have done that first. The absolute misplay, but we'll do that. That'll keep us right out the end of liberty as well, which is kind of important. Right, there's rocket science. It's not rocket science. Look at this. These are so cheap for us to complete. Let's do a fission test first. Let's do it down about there. That's only going to take a turn, so the capital can work away on that shared project. That's totally fine. Next door also is looking for something to do. Let's improve its infrastructure while we wait. Might also queue up the symposium because that gives you 50 fame if you complete a symposium. So we'll get the city to do that for us. Over here, we don't need to work on the shared project at all. So I think here we'll also maybe do a symposium, even though it's so bad. I figure why not? We got a little bit of breathing room. So let's do that and queue up some vital infrastructures. I'll also maybe grab a couple more scientific quarters, although really at this point they're not super needed. Might just get a couple of commons quarters just in case something goes wrong with our stability in future. It's probably not going to, but also the influence generation is nice too, just to ensure that our society maintains its influential status over itself. And as you can see on the screen, we are absolutely dominant. Look as our culture spreads across the world thanks to good placement of holy sites, thanks to us having a lot of them, and getting some really good influence generation from very early on in the game. Also, of course, we are the absolute trade king. You'll see on the religious screen, it's not quite as pretty, but we've at least got our own religion dominant in our territory, and we're sort of starting to eke out into some others. It's a trickier game. I note also that we can move through into the contemporary era. Oh my goodness. I might just stay just to get my gold science stars. It shouldn't take too long. I could, of course, speed it up by going collective minds. The French have become death. Lucky that's me. Let's put this city on collective minds, because it's not really doing anything of critical importance. This city arguably isn't really either, but let's do space station in the capital now that it's finished its little project. Kablamo. We do need to ensure that we hook up our uranium, which I'm thinking... Why? I was going to say, which I'm thinking we must have more of. Athenai, grab that territory. Smash out that exhibition hall. Maybe if we build a hamlet, we can get a bit of visibility up here too. So I might just put that to the front of the... Come on! Might just put that to the front of the queue so that we can build or have a look up there. Working conditions, +1 stability on our makers' quarters or +5 money on them, and a -50% delay between 2 crisis-independent people spawning. Honestly, +5 money on our Maker's Quarters is pretty good, and it'll finally push us one way or another on this axis, arguably pushing me the wrong way. But let's do it. Let's be profit-focused. And I'll just remind me later, but not for long. I don't want to muck around too long, so I'm just going to remind me later, but maybe literally just 2 turns here. There's Exosuit, there's our satellite launched, brilliant. I'm going to start working on hoovering up the last of the territories that aren't attached to our cities. Of course, it'll give us more districts, but really I just want to try and attach up as much as I can for completion's sake more than anything. Oh, woof the oil. Give me that. That is fantastic. Get that oil online. Now, the only other one that I'm kind of short of is uranium, I think, which is classic. Gonna go for the cheapest... Actually, let's go plus 50% money on all cities from the space orbital. Super easy for us to get there, and that's going to really rocket our gold generation up, which has been pretty lackluster this whole game, to be fair. Pretty lackluster. Social housing's great for jobs, so I'll grab that next. There's that scientific star that we were after too. If we double check, yep, we've gone for gold. I won't muck around for anything else unless I can attach 2 territories this turn. I can probably do that, surely. Oh, look, and there's 2. You wouldn't read about it. Fantastic. A cheeky expansionist star, and let's not wait around any longer. Let's surge through into the final era at this point, because I'm so close to the end of the game, and there aren't any geopolitical events that are too stressful on me. I'm really just going to choose for the type of culture that I want, and I feel like the Japanese would be a really good pick for us here, combining industry and science, but crucially, providing us with a scientific affinity ability. The other ones that I would maybe consider would be other cultures that I can get a lot of stars from. So probably the Australians, I guess, are my next best bet. And actually, you know what? We don't really tend to play the Aussies too much. So Scotstraya, let's do it. The mighty Australians. Children's rights. Let's make them smart kids. And welcome to the contemporary era. You're joining me as the Australians as we surge through. We should be able to get our builder stars fairly easily. We've also got an eye on the sky as we launch a satellite and start to get a better feel for the world. Wow, there are still independent people alive over there. And unclaimed territories. What are you doing, Memphis? Come on! All this uranium throughout Blues land. None of it in mine, as per usual, completely as per usual, in fact. Let's have a look at how good these strip mining complexes are, noting that I really haven't built my cities around them at all, right? We've largely focused on scientific production. We didn't really save a whole lot of space next to resources that they would benefit from, but they're looking pretty decent. They're looking pretty decent indeed. I'm not going to smash down my districts to build them, even though the plus 50 industry looks good. Oh, actually, in this, nah. Legitimately, I just want them in place. I don't particularly need them to have their perfect adjacencies online. But in the capital, we might continue. Actually, no, because this is the dream spot. 2 strategic resources. Nothing built here already. That's plus 140 industry. And it gets adjacency bonuses. Plus 50 from strategics only. Yeah, that's all good. That is all good. There's another cheeky strategic spot. There's another one. Not bad. Actually, the capital was quite well established to build them. Just going to spend a bit of cash on those and then queue up a polar satellite, which we should really build in the poles. No? Yeah, come on. In terms of my technologies now, I'm looking for quick fame gain. So military laser will give me plus 300, so I'll move toward that. There it is in a turn. World Wide Web looks good. Yep, love it. I don't super need any of these things back here, really. 200 fame for launching that project, and we've almost researched all of our technologies. So we're actually ready basically to hit endgame at this point. What the heck? What the heck? I've never tried so hard in my life. Let's do the lunar lander though. I'd quite like to go to Mars first. Let's get everyone on it who we need to. Maybe leave the capital off. Yeah, everyone else can do it for us. So if we leave the capital off, it can continue just to get like a couple more sort of industrial buildings. Maybe we go a little bit of extra industry generation too while we're at it. Love it. And there's another 200 fame for finding another planet. I feel like it was the moon, but that's all good. Do we want to do Mars or let's do satellite network as well, because literally our turn, right? So why not, right? Shared project. We've got that beautiful shared project buff from the Topkapi Palace. Let's get everyone but the capital on doing that again. Brilliant, right? Same thing again. Do you want to go to Mars? I feel like you do. But first, a word from our sponsor, Christ the Redeemer. I feel like we can smash out a quick Christ the Redeemer too, as we really snowball toward the end of the game here. I'm just trying to scavenge together about as much fame as I possibly can. This is a wonderful spot for Christ the Redeemer to sit. So let's do same thing again. Get literally everyone except the capital on it. Capital working on its own infrastructure. These cheap techs are now so quick for me. I can literally just grab like almost all of them. Let's queue up everything except neural transplant. Try and go as slow as we can. There's renewable energy. Wonderful. Christ the Redeemer. Thank you kindly. Let's launch the old Mars colony from right here within the capital's borders. I love that. And again, get everyone on it. Can we afford to not have the capital do it? Yes. Brilliant. You can do something else for us while you wait. I don't even know what. Let's go supercomputer for plus 10% science. Not that we need any more science, actually. We do not. Let's get some infrastructural upgrades instead, I guess. Infrastructure and food. Smash through those, mostly in a turn. There's a whole load more fame under our belt. Absolutely fantastic. Sadly, we don't have the uranium within our borders to be able to test another project. We could trade for it, but my opponents don't seem to have it connected. So honestly, that's not entirely useful. We literally missed out on it by like one tile in most instances. So let's just quickly check on our stars. If I smash out a whole load of districts maybe in the capital actually, might be a better idea, right? So let's unqueue this infrastructure. Go Maker's Quarters, because they'll be the quickest ones to snowball, right? Because you build a Maker's Quarter, it provides you with more industry to, you guessed it, build another Maker's Quarter. And the project continues. So what I'm literally just going to do is bounce around. Actually, I don't really even need to get the adjacencies done right, because we're just looking for these stars at the end. So I'll queue up a whole load of these, buy a whole load of them with gold. Boom, 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 boom. Fundamental values on the red planet. Seems like a weird combo, but I'll allow it. And likewise here, I'm not too worried about... Wow, that is a really strong spot for that. Not that I need it. Just queue up some districts about the place. And unfortunately, we only have one technology left. So we have to do it. Neural implant has been researched. And as we move through to turn 65, as you can see, this is my last turn. The mythical ruler of the Australians. I mean, I don't know about mythical. I feel very real, to be perfectly honest. We'll just give each city a couple of things to work towards here. A couple of cheeky districts. Why not? Across the board, cheeky districts as far as the eye can see. And turn 65. There we go. I got the achievement Khufu, which was an industrial-related one. Brilliant. We barely even played any industrial cultures. And here we go. I think the narrator should be saying something like, there we go. You will be remembered as a leader that excelled at many things, not one. Your fame was due to the balance of your skills. We didn't really look at our fame throughout the whole game either. I like to try and save it for a surprise. There's the bottom of Christ the Redeemer. So as we pan across our empire, look at that God Joe star, that district from the very beginning, surrounded by all of those mountains. Above and beyond, we didn't pollute the world. It's very hard to pollute the world these days in Humankind. And we successfully managed to keep a very green planet. And, as the narrator rightly points out here, the role of our faith too. We were incredibly faithful, smashed out our holy sites as quickly as we could, and built up not the the world's best religion, but it was decent. And as we pan across here, wondering how far we'll push humankind, I can't help but think, what a cool little empire we built. What a really cool little empire. Let's see the final scores. I reckon we must have won. Oh my god! 19,000 fame! We absolutely romped them, and I think this goes to show just how powerful it can be if you choose the right cultures and do the right things. This is by far and away my most sweeping victory because I didn't place any preconditions on which culture I could choose. It was humankind difficulty, that's max difficulty. It was blitz speed, arguably the hardest speed to play on. And man, we romped home. 19,000 fame. Eat your heart out. My goodness, thank you very much for watching. And if you enjoyed this, do let me know. I'd be interested to play some more edited playthroughs if you liked watching them. Until next time, I'll see you then. Take care and bye-bye.